follow up. If you see such a need to investigate this, why didn't you raise it during the Biden administration? I mean, we couldn't find that you made any public comments about Epstein in previous administrations.
Well, I would have been happy to raise it then as well. Frankly, we were focused on so many different pieces, but I have been one of the Democrats that has been consistent on what I call out Republican presidents for and Democratic presidents for, whether it is FISA, reforms that we need, whatever it has been. I've been pretty consistent. War powers. I've criticized Joe Biden just as I'm criticizing Donald Trump. I think transparency is not something that should happen only when you have a Republican president. It is something that we need for both Democratic and Republican presidents.
So then why didn't you call for more transparency earlier during the Biden administration? I'm just trying to better understand why you are so intent now on calling for this.
Well, I think I gave it the same focus that I'm giving it now. We haven't, I think I've released one tweet on this and you wanted to talk about it, so I'm happy to talk about it here, but it certainly hasn't been the focus. I'm just responding to what I think is a massive switch from the Trump administration around this issue. My focus has been on the big bad betrayal bill, and I will continue to focus on that. But yes, I think that this information should have been released under the Biden administration. It should be released under the Trump administration.
And I know you have your part. You said you put out a tweet. There are other Democrats as well calling for this, and Republicans, we should note, including the Speaker of the House, saying there should be more transparency. But President Trump, for his part, is just focusing in large part, not just on Democrats. He is focusing also on his allies, but he is saying that this is BS made up by Democrats. He's calling some of his supporters weaklings for buying into it, saying he no longer wants their support. What do you make of that?
I think he's hiding something, and he's just pouring fuel on the fire. Look, most of us didn't start calling for some of this until the president started denying that there was anything to release, until Pam Bondi denied that there was anything to release. And so it is the hypocrisy of this president as he says, oh, all of a sudden now there's nothing that we need to deal with, when he himself has called for this before. So I think he's just pouring fuel on the fire of what is it that he's hiding that he feels the need to now criticize his own base of people, by the way, Republicans, as you point out, including the House Speaker, who say, yeah, let's just release it. If there's nothing to hide, just release it. Don't make excuses by saying, why are people focusing on this? They're focusing on it because your base made it an issue. You yourself called for it. And it now looks like you are hiding something. So if you've got nothing to hide, release the files.
And he has said that he was briefed by Pam Bondi. He said it was short and that he's been given no indication that he was in there. But of course, like I pointed out, both Republicans and Democrats are calling for more transparency, which is clearly irking the president. I want to get your response to this conservative radio host we spoke to who mentioned your name. His name is Jason Rantz, and he is arguing Democrats are acting in bad faith. So I want to make sure you can respond. Here's what he said on the show.
They're doing it because they think it's going to create more distrust within the movement. Ultimately, I think that actually hurts them, because I don't know how many MAGA base members are going to say, yes, I support what Pramila Jayapal and Eric Swalwell are saying. I'm on their side. So actually, I think they're hurting their own cause.
How do you respond to that?
Well, good. Then he shouldn't worry about it. I mean, look, we're all speaking to the bases we have. It's important for my base to hear me talk about transparency. I think I have a lot of Republicans. They come to my town halls. They listen to what I say. They don't necessarily agree with everything I say, but they do agree on transparency, and they don't like a lot of the things that Donald Trump is doing, from kidnapping people on the streets and disappearing them to refusing to provide transparency around this case. So Jason and others should feel perfectly fine then with my calling for this, because they shouldn't have to worry about it if they think that nobody's listening.